YouTube, welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to be going over my 23andMe results. I waited 6 long weeks for these bad boys and I was super excited to receive them because not only did I want to get my Ancestry results, which I already got because I did Ancestry DNA, I wanted to get my genetic health traits just to see what your girl may be prone to. Just was really curious, and my family really recommended for me because honestly I don't know these things. So I'm not gonna ramble too much. I'm just gonna go ahead and get right into this video. I apologize in advance if this video is super long, and I hope you keep watching because it is really fascinating, and I hope that you may be interested in doing this for yourself, especially if you're like myself who really doesn't know like a whole lot because your parents never really told you these things, or maybe they don't know. So let's get into it. 23andMe basically starts off, it gives you your ancestry. So I'll go over those results as well. The one thing that I did love with 23andMe is it told me my maternal haplogroup. I think I'm pronouncing this right. Don't beat me up if I'm not. And it tells you what that is. And this basically allows you to depict where the first set of women from your family came from. So I'll go over that a little bit, but I thought that was really fascinating. I don't have my paternal because you need your brother or your father to do this DNA test. And since my father is deceased, I would have to get my brother to do this in order to get that. So I'm gonna go over my ancestry results. So I got European, which was 62.9, very similar to when I did Ancestry DNA. And I'm just gonna go down the list. I'm not gonna really like go into detail of that because I didn't really care about that. I really wanted the genetic parts. But I got French and German, 16.4, British and Irish, 12.2, Ireland, 4.8, Italian, 1.5, Finnish, 0.5, Jewish, 0.2, that's actually something I did not know. Scandinavian, 0.2, broadly Southern European, 11.1, broadly Northwestern European, 10.8, broadly European, 5.3%. So that's basically my European traits, very similar to Ancestry. Only thing that is different in that one is, I believe, the Jewish. So now I'm gonna go to my Africa, 33%. So I got West Africa, which is 28.4, African hunter-gatherer, 1.5, East African, 0.4, and broadly sub-Saharan, I hope I'm pronouncing that, African, 2.7. Next thing I got was East Asian and Native American, 0.6. So I got Southeast Asian, 0.3, and broadly East Asian and Native American, 0.3. And then unassigned was 2.4. And it says this is a wide range of human diversity out there, and sometimes our algorithm can't pinpoint a region of your DNA to a specific population. Bear with us as our data and resource continue to expand. We expect the amount of unassigned ancestry our customers see to decrease. So that was the first part of the actual DNA, and then I'll show you guys like the map of all of it, kind of like what I did in Ancestry. And the only thing about this one is it doesn't really like go really into detail of your ancestry like Ancestry DNA did. So then I'm gonna click on the next thing. Remember when I was talking about your maternal haplogroup? So basically, like I told you guys, I just want to read the definition. You're a descendant from a long line of women that can be traced back to Eastern Africa over 150,000 years ago. These are women of your maternal line, and your maternal haplogroup sheds light on your story. So my maternal haplogroup is W1. And this basically says, I'm gonna read it. Origin and migrations of haplogroup W1. Your maternal line stems from a branch of W called W1. All the members of W1 trace their maternal lines back to women who lived in the Middle East nearly 10,500 years ago at the beginning of the, don't beat me up if I'm pronouncing this wrong, Neolithic Revolution. The Ice Age was over and a warmer, more stable climate had taken over. People near the Fertile Crescent learned to cultivate plants and then domesticated animals, including goats and sheep soon after. Humans flourished with the new climate and technology, and members of W1 likely migrated beyond the Middle East in waves as populations grew and expanded. Today, this haplogroup has diverse branches that arose as it was carried as far as India to the east. W1 was also carried by women all the way across Europe to the Atlantic coast over thousands of years. And it says W1 is relatively common among 23 customers. Today, you share your haplogroup with all the maternal line descendants of the common ancestor of W1. So I am 1 in 290. Wow. And it has a picture. I'll kind of like upload that so you guys can see. And yeah, and that basically comes from your mom side. If that makes any sense. So the next thing on my list is my Neanderthal ancestry. I know I'm saying this wrong. Your Neanderthals were ancient humans who interbreed with modern humans before becoming extinct 40,000 years ago. This report tells you how much of your ancestry can be traced back to that place. So I have 200 variants of that. And I'll post a picture so you guys see. And yeah, so it says some of your traits may be influenced by that variance. So it says scientists at 23andMe identified associations between Neanderthal variants and certain physical traits. If you have certain Neanderthal variants, it means that some of your physical traits may be traced back to those ancestors. So it has A, straight hair. I have 0 variants found. It says B, less likely to sneeze after eating chocolate. I have 0. It says C, less back hair. I have 0. And it has height. You have 0 as well. And then it goes into detail of that, which I'm not gonna do because that probably would bore you. So next on the list is the paternal. I don't have that. Like I told you guys, you need your father or your brother to do that one. Then you have your DNA family, very similar to Ancestry. This is where you can connect with a lot of your family that has the same DNA as you. And I'm not gonna do that because that's invading people's privacy. So now we get into the genetic health risk. And it starts off with age-related muscular degradation. And I have an increased risk. So basically, this is the most common cause of irreversible vision loss among older adults. The disease results in damage to the central part of the retina, impairing vision needing for reading, driving, or even recognizing faces. This test includes the 2 most common variants associated with an increased risk of developing the condition. So they basically were able to detect variants in my DNA. I have 2 copies of that. But they also tell you that this test is not like saying you will get it, but it is an increased risk. And that basically comes from, I'm trying to make sure. It basically said like it comes from my European traits. So basically I get that from my white side, if that kind of makes sense. Not to be racist or anything, but that's what it says. But it does not diagnose you. I want to throw that out there. It's just letting you know that you do have a high rate of increased risk of that. So then the next thing, it goes down a list of a lot of other things, and I'm just gonna read down them. I actually looked up, quite frankly. So the next one is late onset Alzheimer's disease. I have no variants detected. Parkinson's disease, none. Alpha antitrypsin deficiency, none. Celiac disease, none. Hereditary hemochromatosis, none. Hereditary thrombophobia, oh my God, I'm tearing these words up, none. So that was the genetic health risk, and I only got a high risk for one of those. Then they moved on to wellness. This part I thought was actually really funny because it kind of tells you things and you're like, how did you know that? So the first one is alcohol flush reaction. That is unlikely to flush. And that is I didn't know what that was, so I had to click on it, and it was basically saying Genetic factors help to explain why some people flush red in the face after drinking a small amount of alcohol, 1 drink or less. People who experience flushing may also experience unpleasant symptoms like headaches, nausea, and sleepiness. It says your wellness results, Stephanie, based on your genetics, you are unlikely to flush after drinking alcohol. People with your genetic result can typically process alcohol normally. As a result, they don't tend to flush bright red in the face or experience unpleasant symptoms like headaches and nausea after having 1 drink. And this is very true. The only time I experience anything when it comes to drinking is because of my healthier lifestyle, or if I'm drinking something that my body is not used to. And I have to drink more than 1 drink for that. I thought that was really cool. And it also tells you like what it means for you. So it says while you're unlikely to begin flushing bright red after having 1 drink or less, you may still experience unpleasant symptoms like flushing if you drink too much in a short amount of time. And that is accurate, because if I drink in a short amount of time, I instantly get sick. Like that happened to me 2 weekends ago. And I don't know if my video is up before this video or after. I do have a video coming as far as weight loss and alcohol, which is funny. So, and then it kind of tells you like genetics and alcohol, what causes the alcohol flush reaction. And it says in people who experience the alcohol flush reaction, a toxic substance called, oh my God, I'm about to tear this word up, acetaldehyde builds up after drinking. That word causes tiny blood vessels in the face to temporarily expand and fill with more blood, similar to what happens when people flush. It says it can also cause other effects like nausea, headaches, and sleepiness. Studies have found that people who flush are less likely to drink alcohol because the reaction is uncomfortable. So if you're one of those people, I understand, boo, I understand. So we're gonna go to the next one. And that's just kind of like giving you guys like a thing of what it means. So my next one was caffeine consumption. And it says, your wellness results, Stephanie, based on your genetics, you are likely to drink slightly less caffeine than average if you drink caffeine at all. That's a goddamn lie. I'm a coffee lover. So I don't know what DNA you got that from, boo, but I love coffee. Yeah. I mean, I do limit my intake because of my healthier lifestyle, but if I could have it my way, I could drink coffee all day, boo, all day long, because having children changes all that. It says what you can do if you consume caffeine. Current guidelines, ooh, excuse me, I'm growing. Recommend no more than about 3 ounce cups. Okay, so that's kind of typical. So I guess it's kind of true. So the next one is deep sleep. I am not likely to be an especially deep sleeper, and that is true. I'm a very light sleeper. I can feel movement. I can feel when like someone is near me. Like I can instantly wake up and it's horrible and I hate it. I don't like it. And then it also tells me what I can do. It says if you're concerned about your sleep, experts recommend simple habits like daytime exercise. Boo, I do that too. That do help, but I'm just a light sleeper. It's natural. Some people have it. So next one goes on to genetic weight. It says, Stephanie, your genes predispose you to weigh about average. That's kind of true. Like I actually weigh really great. Like my side of my family, we actually hold our weight really good. Like we may weigh a certain number, but our body fat is like really low. And that's the great thing about it that I do like. So I'm not gonna go like into detail of all these. So the next one is lactose intolerant. I'm likely tolerant. My muscle composition. This one I thought was really fascinating. It says I have the genetic muscle composition is common in elite power athletes. It says studies have found that almost all elite power athletes, including sprinters, throwers, and jumpers, have a specific genetic variant in a gene related to muscle composition. You have the same genetic variant as these elite athletes. What this means for you, for most people, lifestyle and training factors drive athletic performance at the national and international levels of composition. The genetic variant in this report seems to make a difference in athletic success, but its role for non-elite athletes isn't completely understood. Yeah, so basically like some of us have this protein in us already that helps us which is kind of true because like I always said like my muscles in my legs are a little bit, have always since a kid have been really muscular versus other children my age, and I never understood it because my dad, I would look at my father and I'm like, dang, I got my dad's legs, like this is really weird. The next thing is saturated fat and weight. It says likely similar weight, my sleep movement, likely average or less movement. And then we go on to the carrier status. I thought this was really great. So the first one is, gotta click on it because it looks like a pronunciation. I'll just read it out. ARSACS. It says variant not detected. Oh, I'm chopping up these words. Ageness of the corpus callosum not detected. Kidney disease not detected. Hypoglobinopathies not detected. Bloom syndrome not detected. Cambian disease not detected. Congestional disorder of glycomic type not detected. Cystic fibrosis not detected. Protein deficiency not detected. It's a long list and I'm not gonna read them all because I did not have those. Like sickle cell, didn't have that. Just a lot of the known anemias and syndromes out there, I didn't have any variants of any of them. So then we go down to traits, and this is basically, I thought this is like really more of a fun one. It says asparagus, odor detection, less likely can smell, bitter taste, likely can taste, cheek dimples, likely no dimples, cleft lip chin, likely no cleft chin, earlobe type, likely detached earlobes, earwax type, likely wet earwax, eye color, likely blue or green eyes, finger length ratio, likely index finger longer, freckles, likely little freckles, I have a little bit of freckles, hair texture, likely straight or wavy, I have curly, I don't know what y'all talking about, light or dark hair, likely dark, newborn hair, likely little baby hair, sneeze reflex, likely no phobic sneeze reflex, skin pigmentation, likely lighter skin, yeah, your girl pale, sweet versus salty, likely prefers salty, toe length ratio, likely big toe longer, yes, yeah, what happened? I got little piglets and then the big toe all huge. Unibrow, likely no unibrow. Widow's peak, likely no widow's peak. And then you can click on those and it'll tell you info about that. I thought doing this was really cool because, you know, you just learn a little bit more about yourself. You just learn things that you may have thought you have known, because a lot of people do these things and they think that they have stuff in them, but they don't. You know, a lot of parents lie to us too. Let's just say that. But no, I thought it was really cool to do. You know, I'm all about trying to figure out who I am. Even if some of the stuff is inaccurate, I think it's really dope that it's out there. I think it's dope that, you know, we can find out more about our ancestors, even though we probably won't know the full thing because most of our ancestors, you know, really didn't have any paper trail. But it just feels really good to kind of figure out, okay, this is where like my mom came from, you know, my dad, and it just made up little old me. So if you are interested in doing this, I highly suggest it. You know, don't let anyone talk you out. If you want to do it, go ahead and do it. I think it's super cool, like I said before, and I keep saying it because most of the times you just don't know, and sometimes curiosity is the best method of just figuring out who you are. So I hope you guys like this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and make sure you subscribe to the channel if you are new. And I can't wait to keep kicking out more content for you guys. And if you want to see more from me, just leave me a comment and we can get some videos rolling out. I really want to do a Q&A. I'm thinking about doing one with my grandma. I don't know yet, but it should be fun to just try to get her on the channel. Everyone loved her in my house tour video, so I thought, gotta get my girl back because she's so funny. Like, she has stories for days. So yeah, I will see you guys in the next one, and as always, stay blessed And like my girl Shameless Maya says, be you, boo.